All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm Coach Stacy Lynn, certified coach, professional life coach. And I'm here with my dog, Grover. Isn't he cute? He's the cutest old Bichon ever. Yeah, he is. He's old. He's blind. He's getting up there in years. Very clingy. And today I wanted to make a video, but because I have Grover with me, figured I would hold him while I make a video. Because I wanted to just come in here kind of casual today. I wanted to come in here for a few minutes. He got slobber on my nose. And I want to talk to you, especially you younger women. You know, a lot of younger women are taken advantage of. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is how do you stand up to bullies? I've had to learn this in my life. Because I am a very laid back person. I'm very patient, actually. Um, and if you were to talk to most of the people that know me in person, they would tell you I'm very sweet. On my previous show, Sweet and Lovable was my moniker. I can go up to strangers in the store and they'll call me sweet. So I am a sweet person. But one of the things that I've learned, unfortunately, shutting off my phone here, being a sweet person is that people will take advantage of you. They will try to take advantage of you. And so over the years, I've had to learn to stand up for myself because there are a lot of people out there who will attack you because you're a Christian and they'll expect you not to fight back because they'll say, oh, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. And they misapply scripture. And then there's just other people out there who are just nefarious, evil people, and they don't really care um, about you as a person, right? So I'm going to give you two examples of things that have happened in just the last couple of months that I've had to stand up for myself. And I want to use this as an encouragement to you out there who feel like you get walked all over because you probably do. So in one instance, try not to drop my dog here. In one instance, I am a member of a number of Christian organizations, and I pay a lot of dues for certain things, especially in the coaching world, because you got to have insurance, you just got to have a lot of different stuff if you do it right. Now, if you're just some blow Joe or Joe Blow who doesn't want to do anything correctly, then you don't need all the stuff that I have, like insurance and all this other stuff. But recently, I was going through my finances and I was looking at all my expenses having to do with my coaching business. And I noticed that I wasn't getting a product that I was paying for. It's a digital product. It's a service more than anything, kind of educational, but I wasn't getting it. And it irritated me because I'm like, okay, I'm paying this little amount of money every year, and they promised to send this, and I'm not getting it. So what do I do? So I contacted the organization and I said, look, I noticed that I'm not getting any benefit from this membership that I'm paying for, and nowhere was I ever told that this part of this membership was canceled. So I would like a refund on my money, you know, because I'm not getting what I paid for. And the response I initially got back was, oh, we're so sorry that it didn't live up to your expectations. And I'm like, yeah, of course it didn't live up to my expectations because you're not giving me anything I'm paying for. Um, and let's put it this way. It took almost 3 months and numerous emails for me to finally get my $28 back. It was 28 bucks, but it took almost 3 months for me to get that back. And initially I had to, what actually helped me get the money back was I actually went to the corporate attorney of this organization. I found him, I Googled him, And I said, look, I need this to be dealt with because I'm getting the runaround here. And I showed all the emails that I had gotten and nothing. And anyway, needless to say, the corporate attorney wrote me back and said, we're so sorry. We really need to get this taken care of ASAP for you because this was wrong. And I'm like, you're right, it is wrong, especially as a Christian organization. Um, so that was one thing. And then another thing is that and let me explain this. The reason I went to the corporate attorney was because their customer service wasn't working. And on the side, if you know me, some of you, most of you probably don't know this about me, but I sell Legal Shield and I sell Legal Shield on the side. It's one of my side gigs. And Legal Shield is a monthly plan. It's about $30 a month. It gets you your will done, but one of the benefits, the big benefits is you get unlimited access to an attorney who will write letters on your behalf. They'll make phone calls on your behalf. And there's all this stuff included in this $30 a month fee. I am a director in Legal Shield, so I've sold this for almost 8 years, something like that. And one of the things that I've learned working with my clients and selling this membership to hundreds of people is that if you have a problem with a corporation, the attorney is going to write their corporate attorney. Now I know this because I sell the membership, I use the membership. Um, and so I know what I'm talking about when I contact a company and I say, look, we need to get this dealt with or else, right? And that's part of me standing up for myself. So in this case, it's a Christian ministry business, and I wasn't getting anywhere with their customer service. And after numerous emails and a few months, especially when they were telling me, oh, I'm going to give you your money back, I just said, okay, I'm put my Legal Shield director hat on and I'm going to contact their corporate attorney. And to my surprise, he responded and I got my money back. So that's one thing. I'm going to go ahead and put my dog down now because I think he'll be fine. Okay. The second thing is eBay. Recently bought my husband a birthday gift that only cost me 25 bucks plus shipping. So it wasn't an expensive gift. Something unique. But it turned out that the reason I bought this particular gift was because of what was written on it. And it turned out that the Hebrew that was written on it was not actually what I thought it was because the seller said it said something it didn't. So I went to eBay and I wrote the typical review. I gave him a neutral review initially. So I didn't give him a positive, but I didn't give him negative. I gave him neutral. Anyway, and then the guy, and I didn't ask for a refund because my husband was okay with the gift. And even though I was irritated with the fact that the gift wasn't what I wanted, it was still okay with my husband. Okay. So long story short, the seller wrote me back and he actually told me, he said, you know, if you had written me first instead of writing a neutral review, I would have given you your money back. Right there, that's like, those are fighting words to me. It's like, are you kidding me? Because you actually misrepresented what it was I bought and I didn't know it because I don't know Hebrew. So I wrote him back and I said, well, if you were a person of integrity, you would give me my money back even though I didn't ask for it. Because he actually said in his response that he would have given me my money back if I had gone to him first. And I actually thought I did, but I guess I didn't. Needless to say, in my response, I said to this guy, look, we have a couple options here. You can refund me, I can change the review, or I can contact my lawyer and you can end up refunding me anyway. And he went ahead and like literally less than a minute later, right after he got that email, I got a refund. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm sharing it not because I was looking for a refund. I didn't care about the refund. And I told the guy that after that. I said, look, I didn't ask you for a refund originally. And, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, why didn't I ask for a refund? Because what I bought wasn't what it was supposed to be. And part of me thought, well, it's because I'm a nice person. This guy's in business. I don't want to be a pain. I don't want to be called Karen or anything like that. Um, but then when he came back with, you know what, I would have given you a refund if you had done blah, blah, blah. Then I'm like, okay, those are fighting words because I wasn't being Karen. I was just telling you, you could have did this better. So he gave me a refund. But I mentioned my attorney in my response because I know that if you are dealing with a corporation or business or a small business owner, if they get a letter from an attorney over something as small as that cost me, which was like $30, $35 with shipping, then they're not going to mess with you. They're not going to think, oh, it's just, somebody's willing to quibble over a couple of bucks. That's not the point. Point is being able to stand up for yourself and say, no. If this had been a $500 product, I would have said the exact same thing. And this is when I told the guy, I said, if this was only a $35 product. So are you willing for me to get my lawyer involved so that you do the right thing? I mean, this guy sells stuff on his eBay that costs like hundreds of dollars, and some are even close to a couple thousand. And so I bought the little thing that I could afford. Anyway, long story short, the guy gave me my money back. And I don't feel guilty for him giving me my money back because he unintentionally misrepresented what it was. And he learned a lesson, and I told him, I said, look, I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt here, but if you had communicated better to me, I wouldn't have pushed back, because that's like pushing back. It's like standing up. It's like you don't have a right to sell me something that isn't what it is, or it's half what it is, and expect me to pay for it after you admitted it was wrong. I mean, I had everything in writing. All I had to do is give it to my attorney. And that's the best thing with Legal Shield is, um, with Legal Shield, when you have a situation like that, you can actually send all that info to the attorney and they will write that person. I can tell you, I've used it on eBay numerous times, and I've also, in this case, I didn't have to actually contact my attorney. I just said I would. Um, and that's what's really great about Legal Shield is it really puts the power of having a corporate attorney literally in the palm of your hand for a couple dollars a month. Really, for $30 a month at this point, you can get that. Even if I didn't need it for that, what I have learned, especially as a woman and as somebody who is very highly empathic and sensitive to other people's feelings above my own, is that one of the things that you can learn to grow in is your confidence and saying, you know what, I am worth just as much as you are. I am worth my feelings, my finances, whatever, being respected just as much as you are. And it's not wrong or bad to stand up for yourself when somebody's doing you wrong. The Bible talks a lot in the book of Proverbs about unjust balances, because in the Old Testament, one of the things that they did was they, or actually in the New Testament too, they would weigh out things unjustly. They would use weights and measures that were inaccurate in order to make more money, right? I can tell you something. The Lord doesn't look at that and go, "Oh, you guys are so smart. Can't believe you did that." And like, "Good job." No, he doesn't do that. He's like, "Really? Are you serious? You're trying to rip my people off. I don't think so. You're going to be judged for that. And, over the years, I've had people tell me, um, look, you're confident. Sometimes when I walk in, I've had people tell me when I walk into a room, they know not to mess with me. And not because I'm walking in there with a chip on my shoulder, but the Lord gives you confidence when you stand for what's right and true, and when you stand for not only for Him, but for yourself. And, it's funny because I've been thinking a lot about a lot of these false teachers, right? Perry Stone and Mike Bickle and Michael Brown, all these folks who they just think they're above the law, right? I mean, they think that they're above correction. They think that they can get away with manipulating and bullying people. And I'm going to tell you something, that if you have been abused spiritually in that context, um, you're not going to stand up for yourself, because you're putting the needs of that person or the wants of that person or the feelings of that person above what's right and just. And I'm telling you, as an older woman, because I am older now, uh, that that God doesn't look kindly on bullies. He just doesn't. And he will defend those who do right and just. In Micah, and in the minor prophet Micah, the very famous verse in that is Micah 6:8, which says, "He has shown thee, O man, what is good and what the Lord requires of you, to do justly, to walk and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." I'm not going to quote what the surrounding verses are, but go read Micah. Just read the whole book, and you'll understand that that verse, taken out of context, means so much more in its context, because God cares about doing justly, mercy, and walking humbly. And so if you're in a situation, you got to ask, some of the stuff you can ask yourself: is this person being just? Are they merciful? And are they humble? And are they walking with God? And if they're not falling in line with any of these things, then what I say to you is learn to stand up for yourself, because you have a right to be treated with respect. And I don't care how small an amount of money something is that you might be owed. And that's what a lot of people, going back to this Christian company I've been working with, um, this company knows they canceled this part of their membership. I don't know how many other people noticed, but probably not a whole lot. But because I care about every penny I spend and where it goes, because I have limited income, I'm looking. I'm like, okay, where am I getting this? So, but imagine 100 people getting $28 back. That adds up for that company, that they got that money without delivering their product. Okay. And people who are unjust and companies that are unethical, that's how they work. You know, they kind of hope. Con artists do that. And I have a whole bunch of stories about con artists, especially in the world, prior, when I was doing my other show. Um, these people get away with stuff like that because people won't stand up for that little bit of money. And it's not the money. That's not the issue. It's the principle. It's the principle of doing justice, to being merciful, to being humble, and to walking with God. It's that principle that we stand up for, especially as believers. We look for what is just, not what you can get away with. That actually goes back to one of my other videos. I'll end it here. Um, you know, are you careful with something because you don't want to get caught? Or are you careful because you don't want to hurt people? Those are two types of people. Like, are you the type of person who's careful with other people because you don't want to hurt them? Or are you careful because you don't want to get busted? Now, this the Christian company, eventually they got their act together. I don't think that they expected somebody to notice what they did, but I did. And I still haven't actually seen a retraction or email go out to that whole division of what I paid for. But there's eBay sellers who they know exactly what they're doing. And there are other people who they know exactly what they're doing and they are intentionally not being just. They have uneven scales. Um, but as God's people, we are called to a higher standard. We are called to his standard. And the Lord has there's nowhere in scripture where it says that we can't stand up for ourselves or defend ourselves. People misuse scripture all the time when they say, oh, well, you're supposed to turn the other cheek and do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. You need to learn scripture in its context and understand the whole of it so that you understand what is actually going on instead of picking and choosing things and saying, this is what it means. No, it's not what it means. That's why so many people, I've been attacked so much about my Perry Stone comment. Perry Stone says he's read the Bible and studied it 175,000 hours. That's actually impossible. Technically, it's not impossible, but very highly improbable. And the fact that so many of my viewers out here have come back and attacked me for just pointing out his lie says something, because it means you're not thinking. You're defending a man who is a liar. And it's like, okay, why are you defending somebody who is lying to you? Why? That's like defending Satan. And Satan lies. That's all he does, people. That's all he does. It's up to us, children of light, to expose these things. And when we do, some people get mad. Oh, you're not being Christian because you're exposing it. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I am being a Christian because I'm exposing it. Do you know that if Christians didn't stand up against evil, there would be way more evil in the world right now? Just saying. Uh, I could make another whole video about that. Maybe I will. But for now, I just want to tell you that if you're a woman and even a guy, but specifically I'm talking to younger women, and you're sick and tired of people taking advantage of you, or you've lost things because you didn't stand up for yourself, I want you to know it is not a bad thing to stand up for yourself. And you know what? We are called to stand up for widows and orphans as well. And there's nothing wrong with that either. So, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to put description of my video to my Legal Shield page. If you're interested in learning more about Legal Shield, just click through there and you can read the page. You can send me a message in there and say, hey, I want to know a little bit more about this. And if you do, then we can talk about it and I can get you info. My goal today isn't to sell you Legal Shield. It's just to use my experiences recently to show you the power of understanding how to defend and protect yourself, but without it costing you an arm and a leg. And by the way, if you haven't gotten your will done yet, getting your will done is a really good idea because most people don't have their will done. And with this membership, you get your will done for free. So there you go. All right. Well, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already and leave a comment. It can be pro or con, I don't care. I like comments. I try to respond to all of them. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here. And I'll talk to you again soon.